Gingside.com. Once you've declared a variable, it's time to start changing those variables, to put new values in it. So let's go through some examples where the variables get changed and modify as the program progresses. After all, they're called variables because they vary. They change as the program executes. So we'll start with our int x position equals 60. We'll start the x position of our character at position 60 on the x-axis. The x-axis is the horizontal axis of the game, and this is just approximation. Our character that I'm displaying here is at position 60. Now if this number changes, I expect the position of the character to change. So let's try that out. And remember, name, type, and value. X position is the name of our variable. The type is int, short for integer, a whole number without a decimal point, and the initial value here is 60. But it is a variable, so I expect to change it. So let's see what a line of code to change it does. I'm going to say x position equals x position plus 2. Now in order to execute this command, we're first going to do the right side of this assignment operator. We're going to pull the value 60 from the x position variable and move it over and add 2 to it. So what this will end up executing is 60 plus 2. 60 plus 2 is 62. We assign the value that was calculated, 62, using this assignment operator to the variable x position. You'll see that that causes a new value to be stored in the variable. It just changed from 60 to 62. I don't know if you noticed it, but we moved our character. If the position in the variable changes, I expect the position of my character to change. And every time my x position changes, I expect my character to move along the x-axis. Once again, the x is the horizontal axis along here. Let's try it again. X position plus 5. At the time this code executes, x position now contains a 62. So that 62 will be retrieved. See the direction of the arrow? The 62 will be retrieved from the x position variable. 62 will then be added to 5 to calculate a 67. And that 67 will be assigned back into the x position variable. So after I calculate the 67, the assignment or the equal operators says store 67 back into the variable x position. And there's the 67 going back. Look at the direction of the arrow. The 67 gets stored back into the x position variable. Also, in case you weren't noticing it, our character moved. It started over here and moved a little bit for the first assignment operator and moved a little more for the second assignment operator. During any video game, it's going to be important to control the speed of the character. The character could be standing still, they could be walking, they could be jogging, they could be running. Hard-coded values like +2 and +5 tend to make it more difficult to vary the speed of the character. So what I'm going to do is set up another variable here named speed, and speed is going to control the amount that the character moves. So if I put a high number in speed, the character will move far or fast. If I put a low number in the variable speed, the character will move slow. I'm going to set up this variable speed equal 3. The type of this variable is an integer. The name of this variable is speed, indicating it's going to control the speed of our character. And our initial value here is going to be 3. Now, instead of a hard-coded value like +2 or +5, I'm going to use a variable to control how fast the character moves. X position plus speed, I'm going to pull the value of both these variables. Notice where the arrow is between the variables. I'm going to grab the 67 in speed. That'll be my left operand. I'll grab the 3 from the speed variable. That'll be my right one. And when I add 67 plus 3, I'll get the value of 70. Now, this time, I want you to watch the position of the character. I want you to watch this character right here when I press the button. When I add and change the X position variable, that character is going to move. Now, watch the character right now. Bang, it just moved. The 67 plus 3 that I calculated, the 70, got assigned to the X position variable. The X position variable controls where this character is going to be, so it moved over when I changed the value of X position. That's what variables do. They change. And no more fundamental variable in a video game is the X and Y coordinates of a player. And what I'm showing you is how to adjust the position of that character and alter its speed. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to change the variable of speed to -6. This is a negative number. When I want to move the character to the right, I want to add to the X position variable. But if I move the character to the left, I want to subtract from the X position variable. So what I'm going to do here is set the speed to -6. So now, not only can speed control the pace in which the character moves, but it can control the direction of the character. A negative number will move the character to the left. At the speed of -6, I'll go down and execute the next line of code. Once again, I'll pull the 70 out of X position. I'll pull the -6 out of speed, and those will be my left and right operand. 70 plus -6 is 64. I plan to change the X position variable, and when the X position variable goes down or is subtracted, I'm going to expect this character to move left instead of right. Watch the character as I press this button. Boom, the character just moved. When I assigned the new value of 64 to X position, this character adjusted its position on the screen to 64 and it moved back towards its original position. That's why it's important to use a variable to control how much you move the character. Not only can you change the speed in which the character moves, you can change the direction in which the character moves. In other words, this code, X position plus speed, is much higher quality than X position plus a hard-coded value like 5. Let's show you something new to do with variables. And this is going to be declaring a final or constant variable named startX. The type of this variable will be int. The variable name will be startX in all uppercase letters, and the value will be 10. But this time I'm going to put the keyword final in the front of it. And what the final says is this is the final value I will assign to the variable. With the initial value of 10 is the only value I will ever assign to this variable. A final variable is kind of an oxymoron. It's not going to change. I have this initial value of 10 in it, and what I'm going to do there is make that its starting X position. In a typical game, as you play a level, you're going to get killed and you want to restart it from the beginning. You're going to play a little more, you're going to get killed, you want to restart. I'm going to set up this final variable as my initial starting position, and every time I get killed, I will reset the X position variable to 10. Now again, what I want you to focus on here is the position of my player. With the current value of X position 64, the player is at about 64 paces in from the left of the screen. This is position 64 on the X axis. Watch while I press the button. Bang! I change the X position to my default value of 10. Every time X position equals start X, I will reset the player to position 10 on the X axis. That's why my character moved way over to the left of the screen. And you're going to want to set up some sort of constant variable like this in order to make sure that your player starts at the same position every time. This initial value of 60, with a hard-coded value, you're going to have to reset it to 60 every time. You set up a final variable like this, Just reset it to there and bang, you're on your way. Every time the character dies, it resets to the same position, start X. There you have it. That's a little screen showing you how to change variables.
GameSci.com.